Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
A young brother out of Chicago who just graduated from school and is getting ready to start his career in engineering asked me to make a video explaining to him what he would need to do to become the kind of man who is assertive, dominant, and is not a beta male. Now, this young brother, he grew up in a single mother household, and now that he's graduated from school and is getting ready to start his career, he wants to know how he can become a man who survives in the world. And I'm going to go in depth on what he's going to need to survive in the world in this video. And the first thing you need to do to learn how to become a more assertive and dominant man who breaks out of the beta male paradigm is to understand that everything that your mother taught you is completely wrong. Now, your mother is not a bad person, but everything she taught you about surviving in the world is completely wrong. Now, when it comes down to most women get their needs met by men or the government. And because they get their needs met by men and the government, what happens is they see the world through rose-colored glasses. And those rose-colored glasses distort the reality of the world around you. And that's because this woman is getting her needs met by somebody else. But as a man, you have to understand that you are the only one who can meet your needs, and that's a life skill only another man can teach you, is that you will be the only one who can meet your needs. So you have to understand, in order to become an assertive and dominant man, you have to put yourself first. And putting yourself first is not being selfish. It is understanding that as the only person who can take care of your needs and the only person who will be able to meet your needs, you have to focus on making sure that you are taken care of so that you can take care of your business. And you have to understand that you have to make sure that you are making sure that and putting yourself first is making sure that you're taking care of your money, you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your hygiene. And these are all important things that a man has to do, because if a man does not put himself first, then the world will put him last. So that's the first thing a man has to learn how to do in becoming an assertive man, is putting himself first, because that's how you start breaking out of the beta male paradigm. Is one, understanding everything that your mother taught you is wrong, and then two, learning how to put yourself first. Now, the second thing you're going to need to learn how to do is develop a very thick skin, because when it comes down to a lot of guys who grew up in single mother households or beta males, they grew up submitting to female authority figures, and those female authority figures oftentimes sheltered you, coddled you, and they shielded you from the hardships of the world. Now, fathers, they will show you the hardships of the world, and that helps you develop a very thick skin. So you have to get used to being in a world where you're going to have to deal with a lot of hostility, a lot of resistance, and a lot of resentment. And you've got to learn how to deal with it and be able to take that hostile environment on the regular, because the world is a rough place, and in order to survive in it, you're going to need that thick skin in order to be able to navigate a course in your career. Because when it comes down to the world as it relates to black men in the workplace, they are behind enemy lines, and as they are behind enemy lines, they are not wanted in white corporate America, because they don't fit into the white smooth world. So when you go out into the world, you have to have a thick skin, and you need that thick skin in order to survive behind enemy lines. And when you get behind those enemy lines, you have to not think about keeping a job. You have to start thinking about setting goals for your own career, because you don't know if you'll have that job today or tomorrow, because most people, they do not want you there, and they're making efforts to try to get you out of there. So you need to have a thick skin, and as you put yourself first, you need to start setting goals for yourself and where you want to go, because the only person who can take you where you want to go is you. So that's also part of being assertive, is being assertive enough to set a goal for where you want to go in your career, set a direction for where you want to go in your career, and set a course for where you want to go in your career, because that's what strong masculine men do. They set courses for where they want to go, set a direction for where they want to go, and then they work towards those goals, and they're not working towards the attention and approval of others. Now, your beta male, on the other hand, when he gets a job, he's looking for the approval of other bosses, but when it comes down to strong, assertive, masculine men, they are looking to set goals for what they want to do on the job, and then once they achieve what they want to accomplish, they then move on to wherever they want to go in life. And I go in depth on this in my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, where I explain all of the pitfalls that men run into in the workplace and how to avoid certain workplace predators like your office pervert, your workplace mangina, and many of the predatory females in the workplace that are all around. So you need to have a course for where you want to go, and that's what assertive men do. They set courses for where they want to go in that workplace. And another thing that men do who are assertive and dominant is they have complete control over their emotions, and this ties right back into having that thick skin. Now, a man who has a thick skin has control over his emotions, and this is something that a lot of guys from single mother households, they have a hard time with, especially in the workplace and the world of men, is that people will try to do things to rattle them, and then what happens is they get in their feelings and they act on impulse and they do things to hurt themselves. So sometimes, like, they'll have a boss who will admonish them, or a person who will get in their face, and what they will do is get in their feelings and react to them. But a man who understands his role in the world, he understands he cannot react to people, he has to respond to people. And part of responding to people is being able to navigate through your emotions. And when you do that, what you're doing is, while you are feeling about things, you do not act in a way that causes you harm or can damage your life. And that's another part of putting yourself first, is understanding that as the only person who is taking care of you, you need to understand that when other people are looking to try to get you upset or trying to rile you up, they are the ones who are going to win if they do get you to act impulsively. So you can't go out here and act impulsively. And as a black man, you have to understand that there are all sorts of enemies around you who want to make you emotional, who want to see you act out, and want to get you upset, because again, these people do not want you on the job. They do not want you in the world, because as an educated brother, you are representing an idea that most of these racists don't want to see regarding black men, because you are refuting many of the stereotypes and concepts, racist concepts that they have. When they see an educated black man out here, this is something that makes them uncomfortable, and you cannot let these people shake you in any way, shape, or form, because it is your confidence that will allow you to move forward in this world. And you have to maintain a strong resolve out here, because when you go out here, you are going to run into a lot of people who are looking to go out here and crap test you and play a lot of games with you on the job and even in your social life, because whenever they see an educated black man who is making good money, a lot of these people, they want to find a way to try to undermine you or get you off the job, because these people are uncomfortable with the image of you, and they're uncomfortable with what you represent. And that's something you have to get used to, is these people being uncomfortable, and these people being uncomfortable with the idea of you, because you are refuting many of those stereotypes. And these people not only come from the white people you're going to interact with on the job, they come from the black people in your neighborhood. And you also have to look out for those people in the neighborhood, because those people are going to target you as well, because those people are going to be very jealous of a brother like you who has that kind of success. And I highly advise you as a man to start setting up a plan to get ready to leave that neighborhood, because you have a target on your back. So part of you learning how to become a more assertive man is also, in addition to putting yourself first and developing a thick skin and setting a course for your career, start saving your money and start laying out a plan for leaving that neighborhood, because the longer you stay in that neighborhood, the more of a target you're going to have on your back. Because what will happen is, if you stay too long, you'll wind up like a Nipsey Hussle, and those same people who are in the neighborhood with you, they are going to target you for termination. And there may be even family members who may wind up so jealous of you that they even wind up wanting to turn on you. So you have to understand, again, you are behind enemy lines, and you are in a very delicate period, because when it comes down to a lot of brothers who are starting to get success, the thing is, you have to look out for the crabs in the bucket. And part of this is an understanding that you may wind up losing friends, you may wind up losing family members, acquaintances, and that's all part of you developing that thick skin, is that understanding that you may have to let people go, because a lot of these people are looking to get you emotional, and they're looking to use your emotions against you. And part of this is also understanding about how to be that type of man, because you have to be a very strong man, and you have to build up your internal character and your resolve if you want to survive out there. Because when it comes down to these nice guy beta males, these nice guy beta males are looking to please people, and if you look to please people, those people are going to squeeze your bleeding heart dry and rip it straight out of your chest. Because as it relates to your black man out here, he cannot be a nice guy, because there are just too many predators out here. And he can be kind to people who are respectful of him, but he cannot sit here and be submissive to everyone and try to please everyone, because if you're not taking care of you, then how can you take care of your business? And your business has to come first in this world now, because as a man, you are the only person who are going to take care of you at this point. And another thing you have to understand is, as a man, the world is going to be completely different for you than it is for anyone else out here. Now, as it relates to the world, as for black men, the world for black men is completely different than it is for white men, for white women, for Asian women, for Asian men, Hispanic women, Hispanic men, Arab women. The world is completely different for black men. And as it's different for black men, again, you are behind these enemy lines, and you are seen as the enemy. So you have to understand that as you are seen as the enemy, you have to focus on your survival, and you have to start learning the unwritten social rules for black men if you hope to survive. And I've talked about this in other videos, but this is something you have to learn if you hope to keep a job and you hope to be able to start building some revenue streams for yourself. And that's another thing you're going to have to do, is start building some revenue streams in addition to going out here and learning those unwritten social rules. And the best way you can learn the unwritten social rules is to get involved with other professional black men, or start listening to some of the videos here on YouTube from your brothers like a Mr. Superboy, Professor Black Truth, and your Black Male Advice TV, Ringo TV Raw. Many of these brothers, they make videos that will help you understand these unwritten social rules for black men in social circles, like not getting involved with any of these females on the job, because those females will target you for termination through a sexual harassment lawsuit, and you have to be able to put professional distance between yourself and these females in business and social interactions. So you got to watch yourself on that job, and you have to watch what you do and what you say with people, because they see everything you say as hostile, whether it be white people or black people or even non-black people. So you have to understand that that's all part of being a man, is knowing how to navigate those social situations, and you have to learn those unwritten social rules. And I've made videos on that, and you can check those videos out as well. And the whole thing is, you have to learn all of these things in addition to understanding how to navigate your emotions, because that's the most important thing about being a man, is being able to, while you feel, you just don't act on your feelings, because if you act on your feelings, you can put everything you work for in jeopardy. And that's the thing that you have to understand most of all. Yes, you have a right to your feelings, but you don't act on those feelings, and that's what men do. Men, yes, we get yelled at work, and we have problems at work, but we understand how to navigate through our feelings, because we understand there are more important things in the bigger picture, and those more important things include being able to take care of ourselves and being able to do things like pay our rent, pay our bills, and be able to take care of ourselves at the end of the day. And that's one of those male life skills a lot of guys aren't getting, because they have no father in the home and they have no man there to teach them this. And this is something that boys have to learn and early on, again, in addition to understanding that everything your mother taught you was wrong, because she only can teach you what she knew about the world, because her world was made up either by the government or other people taking care of her. So she's looking to she's been protected by people, and she's looking to protect you, but the world isn't going to look to protect any black man, and it's not looking to support any black man. So in order for you to make that way in the world, you have to understand, again, only you can take care of you. So in order to, part of being a man is understanding you have to take care of your needs first, and you have to focus on you first, and you have to understand you have to build up a discipline out here, because when it comes down to this world, you need to have a strong discipline. You have to have a resolve to stay committed to the course of what you want to do and the goals you want to achieve and accomplish. And you have to stay on course with those goals, even though you will run into obstacles, you will run into resistance. You have to find a way to persevere in the face of them. And all of that is how you, and the whole thing is that because you were so passionate about your goals, what's going to happen is you are going to become more assertive, and you're going to become more of a dominant, authoritative man, because you are going to take charge of your own life, because that's how you become that type of man, because you work towards it every day. And every day you work towards the goals you pursue, you will become that type of man. And the other things you can do to help yourself become that type of man is, again, reading more books about manhood and masculinity, in addition to the YouTube videos. You would like to, if you want to learn how to break out of the beta male pattern, again, you start out with books like Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy, and you can start out with other books like I have produced, like Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. That book will teach you how to deal with women in social interactions and what to look for and identify with women in social interactions like dating. And Stop Simping in the Workplace, that book is going to really be a blueprint and a guideline for how to navigate your career. And the man crisis will show you how to get what you needed from the father who wasn't there, the things that you would need. But in this video, I want to give you a overall overview of things. But you're going to have to, again, really understand everything your mother taught you about the world was wrong. It's all completely distorted, and that the way the world works for men is completely different for women. And the world, in order to survive in that world, again, you're going to need a really thick skin, and you're going to have to need to navigate through your emotions and have some discipline and self-control, because that world out there is a rough place. It's not a fair place. And if you hope to compete in it, you're going to have a very, again, thick skin in order to survive in that world. And that thick skin is you being able to have that resolve in the face of those rejections and failures, and the ability to think critically, to learn from your mistakes, because that's what assertive, dominant men do when they go out into the world, is they have that thick skin and that discipline, and they learn on the go about what they need to do to become that man. They learn those male life skills and those male survival skills to go out into the world. And you can learn those male life skills and survival skills not only from these YouTube videos from myself and people like Black Male Advice TV and many others, but you can learn it also from associating with other groups of men, which is something I urge you to do, is associate with other groups of men and learn. That's how they will teach you those male life skills eagerly, because a lot of guys out here, they have no problem teaching a young brother out here. If you find the right types of groups, like these business groups and social groups, you can learn those male life skills. And as you learn, you will grow, and you will learn how to become the type of man you want. It's an ongoing process. I'm going through it myself 20 years later, still trying to learn, but I try to take what I learn and teach so that people can further understand what they need to do to become the type of man who actualizes their potential, because a beta male is a male who, again, submits to female authority figures, and you're taking the first steps towards breaking out of the beta male paradigm and actualizing your potential as a man. I wish you good luck in your future career in engineering, and I'm hoping for the best for you, because you're taking these steps towards becoming a man, and I'm hoping that you actualize your potential to become a great engineer with a great career and a future. If you want to learn more about these issues, you can pick up my books, The Man Crisis, Stop Simping, and Stop Simping in the Workplace. And having those books on hand, reading them, you're going to be able to identify these behaviors and patterns a lot better than you would by watching one of my videos, because when you read the book, you have a reference there that you can deconstruct and take apart, and you can look at all of the behaviors in depth overall. That's all I have to say for this video. If you need some more help, I can make you another video whenever you need it.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, ISIS, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.